Okay, and whenever there is no parameter, then this is with the non-parameterized constructor. Okay, and what is the base main work or the main function of the constructor is to initialize the instance variables. Okay. So it may be that there are two more constructor will be available, so then it must be differ with some of the number of arguments and the type of arguments or the type of parameters. Like that, here we have given three parameters, right? And here this is another constructor. This is the parameterized. We have written a wrong one yesterday. So this is a parameterized constructor where there are three parameters and there are two parameters. So whenever you have written more than one constructor, it must be differentiate with a number of arguments. Here we have put it the number, different number. Here is a 3, here is a 2. So there must be a different number of parameters will be there, and whenever you are calling this constructor, actually you have not to call explicitly the constructor will be called whenever you are creating some object. So whenever you are creating object like this one, student s2 equal to new student with some of the values, then automatically it will find the appropriate constructor. Then which one? So there are three numbers parameters are there, so it will automatically call the this one, that there are three number of parameters are there, so it will invoke this one. And in the next time whenever you are creating another object with the s3, then it will call the, there are two parameters, so it will call the last one, last constructor. And we have already said that the default constructor is what? No, this is actually not the default constructor. Somewhere you can find that this is the default constructor where there is no parameter, but this is actually called the non-parameterized constructor. This is not the default constructor. Default constructor is what? No, default constructor is called whenever you have not declared any constructor, and the JVM will automatically provide one constructor where there will be no values. That is, all the instance values, instance variables will be initialized by their default values. Then this is called the default constructor. Okay, so up to this we have covered. So is it okay? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then another thing is that method. So there are, we have already written one method where obviously there must be a return type. Some of the name will be there, and this name should be differ with the class name obviously. Otherwise, it will be treated as a constructor and you will get some error message. Okay. But before of that, another thing is there. This is called the I have actually yesterday last day I cannot covered it, suddenly I have to stop it. This was the another variable we have taken, but we have not used it. So right now I will use it. So anywhere in your program you can put some of the opening and closing braces. So this one, like this one, and here you can put this, suppose college equal to, so all of you are of HIT, so I am initialize it by HIT. Okay. Okay, clear. Now in the get data, or this is actually the display method where you will display the values of the object. So we are putting, this is the name of the college, and this is the college. So what is going on? Now this is actually called the instance initializer block. This is the instance initializer block. Okay, so what is the function of that? Okay, first of all, let it compile it, run it, compile and run. Okay, so here is the you can see that the college name is showing HIT. Okay, so how it is initialized? Now whenever there is a common things, like here there are you can create the two objects like s2 and s3, right? But it may be the name should be different, ID may be different, the location may be different, but you are of all of HIT, so the college name should be same. So every time if I have to initialize it, so more one line you have to write. Here I can write it, right? Like there is a no argument constructor, so here you can initialize it the college name by HIT. Here also you can put it. So every time you have to put it. So why will increase the number of lines in your code? So there is a features that instance initializer block where the common things that all object will share the same values, then we can put it within a separate block. This is called the instance initializer block, and you can check it that when it will be called. So if I put it that one output, I am within instance initializer block. I am putting this one. So I am within instance initializer block. Now you check it that when it will be called. See, so first of all, it will go that in each time whenever the constructor will be called, before of that this will be called. The first of all it will be called that I am within instance initializer block. Then it will be called that I am within a constructor 2. Clear? Similarly, for the next one, you can see that I am within instance initializer block, and then it will go for the I am within constructor. That is, before of this constructor, whenever you are creating any object, so before it will be automatically call the constructor, but before of that, it will execute this block, instance initializer block, then it will go for the specific constructor which will be appropriate to that object. Is it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 1 minute. So the functionality of this what? No, whenever there is a common variable, then you have to initialize it. So apart from writing it in every constructor, you put it in a separate block, and it will be it in any position. You can write it in any position, either in the very beginning or in mid of that. So basically, as because this will be written, this will be executed first, so it will be better to put it very beginning like this. Okay. Clear? Okay. Next is that what are the different types of variables are there? So normally whatever we have already written, these are called the instance variable, right? You probably know the local variables, that whenever you are writing some of the loops, within the loops you can put some of the variable. This will be treated as a local variable, or you can put some of the function where you have initialized or you have taken declared a variable, that the lifetime of this variable will be bounded within this method body. So these are called the local variables. So you probably know this. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now another variable is there. This is called the static variable. Right. So what is the static variable? Now probably whenever you have learned the C, you are aware about this term, the static. Static means it will take only one space in memory. Okay. So suppose I am writing one variable like static int, suppose k, static int k. Okay. So if anything is there like a variable where this will change every time, and always it will get the latest values like this, so then we have to use like this. Whenever you have learned your C, probably example uh, mm, example can you remember any example of the static? Hello? Hello?
No, sir.
No. Okay, I am showing you. So suppose this is a static variable, and you can put in anywhere within a constructor. Suppose I am putting it as a k equal to, suppose in that this is a default constructor or no argument constructor. I am putting some values, suppose 100. Here in the next constructor I am putting this variable, but with the value is different, suppose 500, and another constructor I am putting this value as a, suppose 1000. Oh, sorry, this one. Okay. Now I have not put it any values. Okay. Okay, so the output, if you look at the output here, can you see na k? So here you can see that in each time the value of k is showing 1000. Okay, so that is the last we have called the S3, the constructor with the two arguments, and here the value is 1000. So the before of that, whatever value was initialized the k is replaced by the latest value is 1000. Okay, so this is called the static variable. Okay, another type of variable is called the final. That is the constant. Whenever you have to declare some of the constant values, then you have to use the final. Here suppose I am writing final double pi equal to like this. So what is the speciality of the final? That is, final variable means this will take only one space but cannot be changed, and if you put the pi only without assigning any values, now you can see that this was the error you can get, that variable pi might not have been initialized, as because this is the final variable and in any way you cannot initialize it within a constructor. So final variable you cannot put it within a constructor, but static variable you can put it, and whenever you are declaring your final variable you have to put some values before using it. Okay. Okay, so can you say me that why this scope is not given, that in any const within a constructor you cannot put the final variable's value? Why? Anyone?
So when
Hello?
so sir, so value cannot change.
Yeah, as because the constructor means you can change it. There is a provision that you can change the value, but as because this is a final you cannot change it, so before of this you have to initialize it and you can never change the values again. Okay. Okay, so total we have already written the total class with the constructor, one two methods and some of the variables, instance variables. So is it clear with objects also? So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are going to write another class. Okay. আচ্ছা এখানে একটা কি আছে, wait wait wait. ওকে, এখানে আবার অনেক কিছু আছে বাবা। Okay, there is another class, you can see it. There is a class dog. Okay, so first of all you check one by one. So look at that there is a class dog with the sum of the variables with string food, string name, int x and private int y, whatever. I don't know that why I have written this one, but this food and name is there. This is the constructor. You have to identify that which is constructor and which is method. So this one you can see that the name is same with some of the arguments string dg name, that is a dog name, probably will be there. So this is a constructor, is it? Then this is a get val which will return some of the values where this is int is there. So obviously this is a method. This is a set name void it another method is there where it will take the values from their name and food. There is another method which is make noise. So some of the behavior will be expressed by this. So this is very basic class. I have written probably many years ago. I don't know. So where there is I have created the object dog d1 equal to new dog with some of the values. Then we are calling some of the system.out.println d1.food and d1.x. Okay, check it whether these are proper or not. Okay, build run. Okay, so you can check it that d1.food. So d1 is the object and you are accessing the variables d1.food, d1.x. Okay, so using the object name dot method name, you object name dot values, the variables x is one, another variable is there x. Okay, so you can use it. Okay, and calling a method d1.eat, d1.make noise. So in this way also you can call some of the instance values you will get, and you can call the methods. Okay, clear? Okay. Okay. So if I give you some of the other class to write, so can you write? I think can you write?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the different things will be there within a class? So I'm recapitulate again. The within a class there are some of the instance variable will be there. It may be some of the static variable or final variable. It may be according to your requirement. Some of the constructor will be there. If there are more than one constructor, then it will be a constructor overloading this process. Whatever we have already shown you, that whenever there are more than one constructor, then it will be a constructor overloading. And the thing is that this constructor overloading actually fulfill the concept of what? Polymorphism, right? So one by one actually we have to cover it, that polymorphism, then we will call the inheritance. So there are so many things in the polymorphism, so we will take some more time so to complete it. So this was the constructor overloading. So similarly, if we go for the methods, then there must be different with the number of arguments and type of arguments, then it will be called the method overloading. So you can check it with some of the methods. Okay, hello. Okay. There are, this is the constructor overloading, and here also some of the other things I may want to show you, like suppose this one. Okay, this one. Okay, so here I am taking a 3 arguments. Okay, 3 arguments. Now I am I want to initialize. Suppose there are you can see these these two things is important, right? Here there is a 3 parameter int x, string name and string city. Okay, clear? And here also there is int x and string name. Okay, so that is what are the purpose of this? To initialize the id and a name. Clear? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and in the next constructor, here also the functionality of this is to initialize the id and the name. So if we can use this constructor, okay, and only this city can be initialized in a different way, then obviously you have not to write this one and this one. These 2 lines will be not have to write. I'm eliminating this last line as because this is not required. Okay, clear or not? That is here this one, these 2 lines we are writing, but still here as because we have already written these 2 lines, so anyway we can eliminate this one so that this constructor would be used and the number of lines of codes will be reduced. So our objective is to what? To reuse the code. Okay, so one way we can do that. What is the way? Now you can use the these operators. So you can write the this, within this you can put the x comma name, so that it will call this constructor. So this actually what this will always refers to the current object. So you can write it in any in your, if there is a paper and pen, so you can write this always refers to the current object. Okay, so that this means what? So this means the object, which object actually called this one. So if the object is s2, so s2 is actually calling which constructor? This constructor where there are three parameters, and here from I am calling that s2 dot this, that is this is calling this constructor. Okay, and the so that this one we are commenting it, this one, and the another variable which is the city. So city will, as usual, city will be initialized by the city. Okay, city. Now check it. Okay, and okay, before of that I am commenting this one so that it will be clear. Okay. Okay, so you can see that I have already sent it 102 xyz and Kolkata. Okay, now from there, whenever it is called the constructor, before of that obviously it will call the instance initializer block. Then I am within constructor 3. So before of that, before this executing this one, this will call the this constructor. I am within constructor 3. Is it? It will initialize the id, x and name, city obviously. Okay. Then it will come back again and it will override this one, city equal to city. So in this you can see the this one, id equal to 102 xyz and Kolkata. So this will be override obviously. This variable will be initialized again by the city, whatever the value you are sending, this Kolkata. Okay, and obviously k is 0, no problem. So can you check it that this actually what it will doing? So this will call the constructor with the this argument. So obviously it will check that which constructor will be appropriate, and according to that it will initialize that. Okay, if you put only in no anything, so only this, then also you can check it. So run. So whenever there is only this, that is this will call the constructor with no argument, and we have already written this in the above. So it will initialize by the 101 name abcd, but city will be initialized by the values whatever we have already sent it by this. Is it? So can you see the exact functionality of this? Okay,
Yes.
is there any confusion about this?
No.
Okay,
No, sir.
another way we can use this, suppose whenever this is the x, I am writing is as a id. Now listen, so whenever we have put this one, what is this variable called? This is called the formal parameter, right? This is the actual parameter, this is the formal parameter, this is copied to the id, is it? These values will be copied to the id. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you can check it that I'm put the comment, the instance variable is also id. Okay, clear? Now
Okay.
if I put that id equal to id, this will be a confusing. If I put the id equal to id, that's because this id, we know that this id is the instance variable, and this id is basically this one, that is the formal parameter. Okay, now if we write like this, id equal to id, the JVM will be confused. Okay, so before of that, so in it may be that some of the times it will be confused. So before of that, we can put this so that it will be clear that this means, okay, first of all you check the output. Okay, if we put it id equal to id, run it, you check the id equal to 0. Okay. So why such? No, whenever you are writing id equal to id, it don't know. The JVM will be confused and it will assume that ID is basically you have not initialized and you are saying the same thing, so it will be initialized by the 0. Okay, so whenever you are trying to put these values, so you have to write the this dot. What is the this reference to? This always refers to the current object. So in this position, if you write the object name, that is you are currently working with the object s2, so you have to put s2 dot id. So without using the s2, as because s2 you cannot use here, so put it this dot id. So now check it. Build run. Okay, what happened? Huh?
Remote.
Still 0. I am within constructor 2. No, no, it should not be. Probably there is a problem. Mm, okay, let me check it here. No. Okay, I am probably calling the different way. Okay, 102. So it should go to 100. Okay, so the later I will check it why this is not showing. Okay, another thing is that whenever you use the this function, so this must be the first statement. This is a rule. So if you put it in a different location, suppose I am putting it in the last. Okay, so this first of all you change it. For the timing you change it. I will show you later that why this is not doing it. Okay. Mm, okay, so if you put this in a if this is the not the first statement, then you check it that what will happen. So this error you will get that call to this must be the first statement in constructor. So we are using this one as the first statement, as because if I put it later, so probably the this whatever the what is our objective? Our objective is to initialize those variables which are already will be initialized like this two before this going on the rest, right? So if we put it in the latter, it may be that some of the variables which will be already initialized will be updated, is it or not? So if it is happened like the city, is it? So city actually we don't want to initialize by the whole year. City will be initialized by the values whatever we are sending. So city will be initialized by the Kolkata here, and after that if this will be executed, so this will call the this one. So this will change all the values, is it or not? So we will restrict it so that whatever the values you want to initialize by the other constructor, then you do it, and whatever the values you want to initialize by the right now, whatever the values you are sending, you write it later after this. Okay,